We've been approached by a potential new client, Mack & Camerons, to put together an integrated marketing communication plan to support the opening of their new restaurant. Mack & Camerons is going to be a brew pub and distillery that is scheduled to open on Friday, March 18th, 2016 in Westchester, Pennsylvania. The pub will make and serve handcrafted beers and distilled spirits. They will serve pub-styled food and upscale trendy fare that will change seasonally. The restaurant is located in the heart of Westchester in a 15,000 square foot storefront. The space is warm and inviting and is decorated in a classic pub style with eclectic touches like lounge chair sitting areas. The pub will be upscale with entrees running around $20 and drinks and drafts around $6. The owner has a budget of $65,000 and is looking for a 6-month campaign to build a customer base. The plan is to begin the campaign approximately 2 months before the opening and end 4 months after the opening. Now let's talk about the restaurant's target clientele. From a demographic standpoint, we are looking to target the 21 to 50-year-olds that are of middle to upper socioeconomic status. We are targeting people with incomes of over $75,000 annually. The owner wants to attract both male and female clientele, and not just to be one more sports bar in Westchester. Because the restaurant is not part of a chain, we're targeting an area within a 20-mile radius of Westchester. It is unlikely that targeting a larger geographic area would have a return on investment based on the nature of the business. Now let's talk about the local competition. This is crucial in our development of an effective campaign, and Mack & Camerons poses some real challenges for us in differentiating them from the crowded Westchester restaurant scene. As said earlier, Mack & Camerons is opening in the heart of Westchester. Now the bad news. There are 18 restaurants within a 5-mile radius. There are already 2 breweries in Westchester. There are 6 breweries within an 8-mile radius. Now the good news. The closest distillery is 30 miles away in Philadelphia, and the nearest brew pub and distillery is 96 miles away in Gettysburg. This is the key to our differentiation strategy. Mack & Camerons is the only brew pub and distillery in the area. By focusing and communicating the idea that we are unique, we can break through the crowded marketplace and put our client in the driver's seat. So how do we plan to do this? Our advertising campaign will involve an array of methods and media, including a cable TV news spot with a focus on the target demographic channels. Our social media and web presence is a key part of the strategy based on the lifestyles of our target audience. We plan to develop both a Facebook page and an interactive website, advertising on Facebook, and interact through Twitter. The next segment of the campaign will be a direct mailing campaign. Effective use of a billboard advertising will significantly drive customers to the locale. And finally, we will facilitate positive publicity for the restaurant. Let's take a closer look at each of these. We want to reach a large local population and to do so in a cost-effective manner. Obviously, TV is the lowest cost method for mass media. For this campaign, we will work with Comcast Cable and run our ad on ESPN, Fox Sports, and the FX in order to reach our target populace. We expect our reach to be between 20,000 and 30,000 potential customers. We have developed a 30-second spot that will begin running 1 week prior to opening and will run for 1 month. With the month rate, we are guaranteed 5 primetime spots. The limited period should reach effective exposure of between 3 and 10 exposures before the end of the ad. This will be the most expensive portion of the campaign and will cost a total of $20,000. Let's take a look at the spot. Camerons, the only brew pub and distillery in Chester County. Come join us for the finest fare and enjoy a handcrafted beer or bourbon. Our fully operational brewery is open for tours and tastings Mondays, Wednesdays, Saturdays, and Sundays. Home brewing courses are given on Wednesday nights. Mac and Cameron Signature Distillery is also open for tours and tastings Mondays, Wednesdays, Saturdays, and Sundays. Located in southern Chester County, only minutes from the main line in the heart of Westchester, Mac and Cameron's. Stop by today or visit us on the web at macandcamerons.com. Pretty nice, right? As mentioned earlier, the social media and web presence portion of the campaign is critical in the effectiveness of the entire plan. Social media for our target audience is a big part of their lives, and we want to tap into it, insert ourselves in it, and become part of their lives. Having a Facebook page and a website are essential and need to be user-friendly, informative, and designed to drive business. Ours will have similar content, links between the two, and work interactively. We will offer a 10% discount on both sites if the potential customers like us on Facebook. This has two primary functions. It gets us onto people's timelines, which is additional advertising, and it converts potential customers to real customers. The cost for setting these up is approximately $12,000. We will also advertise on Facebook to our geographic and demographic target audience. Our advertising will be a per-click basis. A rate of $50 a day is expected to reach between 8,000 and 21,000 potential customers and will cost $5,300 for 90 days. The advertising will begin 1 week prior to opening to maximize the initial surge. The use of a strategically located billboard will significantly enhance our reach. The billboard is located only 1.5 miles south of the restaurant on the heavily traveled Route 202. The spot will play for 8 seconds with one spot every minute and is expected to generate over 1,000 exposures per day or over 30,000 exposures per month. The ad will begin 1 month prior to the opening and run for 6 months. With a 5-month package, we are guaranteed at least 5 loops per the rush hours. The total cost for the billboard portion is $8,000. The next segment of the IMC will be a direct mailing portion. This will be a carrier route-based campaign and will therefore not require the purchase of a mailing list. The delivery codes targeted will be Westchester, Westtown, Exton, and Paoli. There will be 3 mailings, one 2 weeks prior to the opening, one 2 months after, and one 4 months after. The mailers will include the Like Us on Facebook for 10% off. The total cost of the direct mailing campaign will be $15,000 and is expected to reach 20,000 potential customers. Here's a mock-up of the mailer highlighting a diversified young clientele having a good time with friends. The final segment of the IMC will be a publicity campaign. The local Westchester paper, the Daily Local, will be invited to a private tour and tasting 1 week prior to opening. Westchester and Chadds Ford Life magazine and Mainline magazine will also be invited to a private tour and tasting 2 months prior to the opening so that they can get their articles into the magazine the month before or during opening. Finally, Chester County Lines, a Southern Chester County magazine, will be invited to the grand opening and will include an article about the restaurant in their April or May edition. This is how the timeline will play out. The Facebook page and website will be launched in early January. This will be followed by a private tours of Westchester and Chadds Ford Life and Mainline magazine. The billboard will begin in the middle of February and will be followed by the first direct mailing at the beginning of March. This will be followed by the Facebook advertising, which will begin on March 11th, 1 week prior to opening. The commercial will also begin to be aired on March 11th, building the anticipation for the opening the following week. The articles in Mainline and Westchester Life are expected to come out on March 15th. On opening day, a tour and tasting will be held for Chester County Lines. 2 months after the opening, the second mailer will be dropped and the article in County Lines will come out. The final mailer will come out 2 months after that. The owners established a $65,000 budget for the initial marketing of their restaurant. We have been able to bring the entire plan in for $61,000, which consists of $20,000 for the commercial, $12,000 for the Facebook page and website, $5,300 for the Facebook advertising, $15,800 for the direct mailing, and $8,000 for the billboard. Mac and Cameron's has some great possibilities, but needs to communicate their restaurant's differentiation to the target populace. The challenge is to break through the clutter of a crowded market space and create a buzz. The proposed advertising campaign uses a variety of vehicles to create this identity and to entice the target market to stop by for a pint of good IPA or a handcrafted scotch on the rocks. Mac and Cameron's.